What's going on, everybody? How you feeling? How you living? You already know who it is. It's your boy Jay, aka Big Daddy Beer, aka your favorite gamer's favorite gamer. And welcome back to another segment of Take a Walk with Me. For those that are new to this is a playlist on my channel that focuses on single-player campaign-related titles, one-player style gaming only. Now, keep in mind, as I'm streaming these titles, these are not full-length walkthroughs nor demos. Just me showcasing gameplay of all the digital titles that I have in my catalog, so keep that in mind. So before we get started, as always, I specialize in custom art and graphic design work through my company, Imprint Street Artists. For anybody looking to inquire about any art or graphic related work, you can hit me up. Also do have merch available for anyone that's interested. You can take a look at my collection through Instagram, Discord, and also through my Street Artist merch shop, courtesy of Spreadshop. Click the link, shop around. Anything that you guys want to purchase, you can get it printed and shipped out to you. Also, my community tab is open to anybody who wants to promote or advertise their channel or business related endeavor. Drop your link in the live chat while I'm streaming so I can moderate you and add you to the community just as a token of appreciation for all the love and support you guys have been giving me. Also, you can add me as a friend through the following platforms: Discord, PlayStation, Nintendo, Switch, Twitch, and Steam. Also, make sure you guys check out episodes of both my podcasts, The Debate Table and Artist Life. Get ready for episode 43 of the Battle of the Beat series, Lost Battles, on The Debate Table. That's going to be on Sunday, October 13th, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so be on the lookout for that. Future episodes to come. Last but not least, if you guys want to donate to the channel or become a member, you can do so. Just know it's optional. Still appreciate the love and support regardless whether you do or you don't. So with all that being said, let's get these links dropped and let's get it popping like we always do at this time. All right, everything is set. Let's get it. So I want to welcome everybody in another segment of Movie Video Game Night. If you guys are new to this, what I do is these interactive movie and television based games. Gives you guys the opportunity to tune in while joining in with the interaction. Now, this one's going to be a little bit quicker because this here is just a trial. So it only gives me about like an hour worth of gameplay. So I'm going to try to go through this as quickly as I can. I want to be able to give you guys the opportunity to choose with some of the choices and decisions, but again, it's only an hour because it's just a trial. But we're going to try to still do as much as we can within this hour time frame. So welcome to the B.D.B.G.P theater. Grab your snacks, popcorn, anything from the concession stand that you guys want. Hop in your recliners, get ready for this feature presentation. This is Werewolf, the Apocalypse-Purgatory. It's a new one here, never heard of it, don't know much about it. First time game. So just from what I've seen and read, it looks like it's more on the narrative side, so it's gonna be pretty interesting. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it to see what it's all about. Alright. I'm Samir Rahmani, a Gauru of Afghanistan, sworn to fight alongside my fellow werewolves to protect Gaia and her inhabitants from the worm. Rage drove every step as I tore my enemies to pieces over and over again. Damn. But the humans have taken too much, and anger this battle despairs as I wonder, are they even worth fighting for? Wow. There's a lot going on there. So as you guys can see, again, as I mentioned, there's choices and decisions which will affect what's going on. So let's see. We could choose between athletics, stealth, and survival. Let's keep it safe. We're gonna do stealth. Alright, social stick goes animal keen, intimidation, persuasion. Let's I guess it's intimidation. Let's go with that one. The occult, medicine, and technology. Let's try to go with medicine. Oh yeah. Yeah, you know my motto, run up and get done up. I am Samir Rahmani, a Guru of Afghanistan. Let's destroy this worm, one battle at a time. Alright, yep. What she said. Run, whispered the moon. Alright, so here's the choices. But again, as I mentioned, this is a shorter stream, so as you guys see the choices, whatever one you pick, just let me know and I'll select it. So I'm gonna just go ahead and do the decision making for right now. So I ran, footsteps pounding into the earth as the early winter wind chilled my throat and lungs with every breath. Kazim ran by my side, my hand gripping his thin arm, and as we raced alongside the border of Belarus and Poland, searching desperately for a way through the barbed wire fencing that pitilessly barred our way. The cutting rage snow blinded our eyes in the freak storm, a series of bad luck and the never-ending tragedy that had begun months prior when the Taliban had overtaken my country once more. Hurry. I felt a clawing of panic within me. The guards were no match for a werewolf, but Kazim, my brother, was only a human and a child at that. And the guards would not hesitate to strike him down. I wanted to destroy them all before they had the chance. Tendrils of red began to suffuse the corners of my vision when I felt a small hand grabbing mine. The fury instantly abated as I took a deep breath, squeezing Kazim's hand reassuringly. It's all right. I promised, my voice carried away on the howling wind as he smiled, pretending to believe it. This border was meant to be our last hope, our promised entry to the EU after the long, treacherous journey from Afghanistan. Instead, hope had turned to horror as we found scores of gaunt refugees crowded together in an undulating sea of desperation that pushed fruitlessly against the border. Families cramped and huddled around fireplaces and within ragged tents, if they were lucky. Domo Nini, how you feeling? Welcome in. Appreciate you coming through. Alright, so we got option 1 and option 2. Alright, I'm gonna just choose one. Let me know if the volume is too loud. Feels kind of loud on my end. If the volume is good, just kind of let me know. We were one of the lucky ones, but even a tent would not stop the freezing grasp of the coming winter that loomed like the mountains of my homeland over us all. The violence of Polish guards and a razor-sharp barbed wire fencing were stopping us from getting in, while Belarusian soldiers were preventing us from getting out. We were trapped like a mahi, caught in a net as we gasped for air and freedom. And so we traveled far from the camp, hoping, praying to Gaia to help us find a way through the deathly stillness of the night. Alright, so here's the options. So it looks like the options kind of pop up as I'm reading the dialogue. So whichever option you guys think we should go with, just type it in and I'll go ahead and choose that one. So if you see like two options, you could choose option or one or two. You can do it numerically. If you see three options or more, just choose the number and I'll type it in. Alright, you must escape. I'm gonna go with how. How, I asked. There was no answer. As far as I looked, the barbed wire stretched ever forth, a delicate ornamentation that sliced through the forest. Fresh snow draped over the smooth paths on either side, concealing the graves of the trees that the guards had torn down to make way for this silver ribbon of pain. My eyes frantically roamed the fencing as we ran over there. The barbed wire lay in shadows, but I could nearly make out something in its mist. Alright, I ran to inspect it. My duty was to keep Kazim safe. I surveyed the area. So let's go with 2. My duty was to keep Kazim safe as I motioned for him to hide in the woods while I ran to inspect the fencing. As I gingerly approached, a shadow formed, took shape. What could it be? A tattered backpack, the corpse of a rabbit, or a face? Let's go with face, because those other two sound whack. A small, doll-like face looked into mine as its painted white lips curled into an eerie smile before it disappeared. A trick of the Umbra. All speculations dissipated as I stared at the hole in the fence that had appeared beneath it. This was our only chance to escape. A shining light to my right made me start as I scurried back into the woods to rejoin Kazim. Just in time as a guard marched along the fence where I had just stood, motioning to Kazim, we melted into the forest, putting distance between ourselves and the soldier as we searched for another way through. Glints of barbed wire shone at the corners of my eyes as we ran onward. In turn, the gleam of a flashlight, the eyes of a guard, the edge of a gun. That sound kind of poetic right there. The hunters seeking the child at my side as their prey as we ran faster and faster, searching frantically for any way through. Crazy. Gary B.D.B., what up, 9? How you feeling? How you living? Welcome in. Appreciate you coming through. Another burst of light. One I recognized with relief as that of Luna's, as she shone gaily from behind the clouds, revealing at last a small gap beneath the silver that barred our way. Snow crowded greedily at the torn edges of the fencing, but it would be a matter of moments to clear it. Moments we did not have. For the moonlight also shone upon the hunter which I had feared. A Belarusian border guard headed our way. So when you guys see those options pop up, just choose which one we should go with, and I'll click that one. So just choose it numerically. Flickers of light and smoke momentarily illuminated harsh features above a smoldered cigarette as he paused by the fence before turning about face to scan the other way. See, I waited, I searched. Let's see, let's sneak past some. LNL, how you feeling, how you living? Welcome, man, appreciate you coming through. B.D.B.G. to the LMNOP. It's got such a nice rhyme to it, don't it? I led Kazim through the shadows, ducking and weaving until we reached the edge of the border. The guard flicked his cigarette onto the ground, the snow instantly extinguishing it with a greedy hiss. He turned around and began pacing the other way as we breathlessly watched him fade out of sight. Motioning to Kazim silently, I cleared the snow as he scurried beneath the fence, like a hare fleeing the snow leopards that snapped at their heels. As he wriggled through, Kazim's coat caught in the fence's razor-sharp clutches. I shoved him forward, following close behind, as we at last made it safely to Poland. A piece of his torn coat clenched within the barbed wire silver hands, our final sacrifice to the border. This is kind of interesting though. The clearing, we had only made it a few hurried steps into Poland when an ancient forest loomed abruptly before us, menacing in its suddenness. The thick line of trees melded together as one against the blackness of night and the white snow that violently battered at this vanguard of the woods, a frozen wave of a dark sea. I had heard about this forest as a child. I had just learned about this forest recently. Well, we ain't never heard of this forest, so let's go with that first one. When I was a child in Afghanistan, my tribe of Garu, our sept, had mentioned the forest and another group of Garu that resided within. I ain't even gonna try to pronounce that, so we just gonna call that PB. They called it Bialowice Forest. Thousands of tiny wooden arms above reached plaintively away from their trunks towards the border, as if seeking to reunite with their brethren on the other side, or perhaps seeking their kin that had long stood beside them, now ruthlessly wiped away for a frozen valley and its silver river. A river I wish to put far behind me as I rushed forward into the embrace of the trees as the forest swallowed us whole. I was afraid. It felt like home. What was this feeling? I like that third option. Let's go with that one. What was this feeling? Longing, regret. I could not put my finger on the emotion, but it grew stronger with every step. I slowed down. I stopped. No time for mysteries. It's a good one. Well, we gotta keep moving, so I say let's go with 3. Whatever it was, I pushed the feeling down. Emotions and mysteries had no place here tonight. Will Aunt Khadijah come get us? Kazim whispered, the sound making me start in the oppressive hushed silence of the dark forest. Yes, once we're out of the woods, we can find a phone and call her, I whispered back as he looked relieved. Warsaw isn't very far, so we might even see her by tomorrow. Let's see, you'll enjoy Warsaw. Her apartment is amazing, or do you remember her? Warsaw don't sound enjoyable, just that name alone, so. Let's see, let's maybe go with the second option. You'll really like her apartment, I promised. The one you stayed in while you were in university. He asked as I nodded. Yes, exactly. And we'll have rot and sambosa and brewed tea for breakfast every day. Kazim's eyes shone brightly, but I could not help but glance guiltily at his too thin body. It had been far too long since we had had a home-cooked meal, having to rely on food we had bartered and bought or met I had caught as a garo. Stop right there. The beam of a torch blazed through the forest, illuminating Kazim and I frozen against the birch trees. Run, Luna's voice, intertwined with the sirens that suddenly pierced the night sky. We dashed desperately through the forest, and branches of the trees grabbing at us, bramble bushes clinging to our legs. Is this a reading game? Yeah, so it's basically kind of like an all-in-one. It's interactive, narrative-based novel, but I kind of just formatted it as like a movie game. So yeah, there's choices and decisions as I'm reading all of the dialogue throughout the entire story. So yeah, part of it is like a reading game. Let's see, I shoved them out the way. I searched for an easier route. No time to think, just run. Yeah, keep moving. Yeah, it's my first time actually doing something like this, for a movie game night. So, I'm always looking to change it up, add different things to the mix. There was no time to think, just run. I ignored the pain of the branches as I dodgily pushed through, bursting into a wide clearing. The flaming orange leaves of autumn now lay entombed in the ivory snow and lay over the clearing like a shroud smothering fallen logs that rose up gasping from the ground in one final hopeless attempt to return to their place in the sky. Serious S, how you feeling? How you living? Welcome in. Appreciate you coming through. And here's the funny part too about this whole thing. I don't like reading. I don't like to read unless it's like something that interests me, like comic books or something like that. But I hate reading. I've always despised it as a kid. I know it's supposed to be good for you and therapeutic, but I just don't like it. And so it's funny to be playing this interactive game and reading out loud to everybody that's tuning in. How crazy is that? Don't move. The pristine hyaline veneer was broken with a loud crack like the sound of breaking bones. Two border guards stepped forward across from us, assault rifles gripped threateningly in their hands. Raise your arms, one of them yelled, his face set and cruel with any empathy long exterminated. Make us, I snarled. The guards signaled as I felt two more guards appear behind us, a German shepherd at their side. One twisted my arm violently. We can make you, he laughed, as he easily shoved me forward into the snow. I stumbled, nearly losing my balance, but managed to stay upright as the fury grew. My mind raced, searching for a way out. Oh, snap. It's about to get real. I shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have did that. The guard's gun. There was no other way. Let us go. Let's go with 3. Let us go. A flash of the wolf blazed in my eyes as the guards in front of us took an unconscious step back. Are you scared of this little girl? The mocking voice from the guard behind us shook the others out of the spell, their fearful looks morphing into hatred. Cat, what up, Nine? How you feeling? How you living? Welcome in. Appreciate you coming through. Everybody coming in, welcome to movie video game night. Pain lanced across my vision as I fell forward. The guard behind me had cruelly shoved me to the ground as the other men laughed. My body shook with suppressed rage as Kazim pleaded with me with his dark, frightened eyes. But the time for cowering and hiding was over, for I could see in their eyes that they were merely rats that had escaped from their cage, and we could either obediently return there to be put down, but I was no rat. You're damn right. We ain't no rat. We don't snitch over here. Even though they ain't snitching ain't got nothing to do with it, but still, we ain't a rat. Oh snap! See, she didn't. Them eyes didn't change colors. She didn't went full pink eye. Yep, it's time to go. Let's see. Which wolf should we turn into? We about to scare the hell out of them. We gonna turn into Krynos. Uh-oh. I bet you they scared now. Yep. What's the saying? All black everything. In this case, all red everything. I was a werewolf. Pain hit me like a wrecking ball. Every bone in my body broke and moved and reset. I roared in agony. Panting and growling, I rose and rose and rose. I was an 8-foot tall killing machine. I was a Garu. So F these guards and F this situation. Oh, it's about to get real. You know it's gonna get real when they start cursing. Nay, how you feeling? How you living? Welcome in. Appreciate you coming through. Oh hell. Damn, seeing that. Now I actually kinda like reading. I take back everything I said about reading now. I like it now. I drank in the humans' fear and panic as I began tearing them to shreds. Damn, I was no longer afraid, no longer at their mercy. Their final gargling cries filled me with an inhumane joy as blood splattered across my chest, a delightful crimson of death rising in the air around me as I destroyed their pathetic, flimsy forms. God damn. Tell them how you really feel. Miss Shy, how you feeling? How you living? Welcome in. Appreciate you coming through. A crimson that spread joyfully across the corners of my vision till all around me was red, red, red. Jesus, Mary and Joseph and all 12 apostles. It thing got real. A savage bite ripped into my arm. I whirled furiously to face this new foe, but instead my vision focused as I saw another Garu. Their muzzles stained with blood. My human thoughts returned along with the realization that all of the guards had been killed. The pieces of their bodies were flung across the clearing as a spreading crimson stained the white snow beneath. Sheesh. My rage was gone, replaced by a deadly ache of weariness after my frenzy. The wolves and I shape-shifted back into our homid forms, a previous rite of dedication ensuring our clothes returned as well. That's crazy how that music just like turned up like that. Now it's just kind of like calming down. Alright, one of the Bia Luisa Garu approached me, my body still heaving with the change. Back off, I had it under control, or thanks for the help. Let's go with the second one. I had it under control. The woman just smiled. Sure you did. I could not bring myself to return the smile after the night's events, but I sensed she understood. She introduced herself as Maya, another as Kim, Daniel. Their names blurred together in my head after the events of the night, and I started to feel faint. But I needed to stay strong for Kazim. Kazim, I realized he was no longer by my side as a ragged panic started to claw within my chest. Yeah, Kazim, he got the hell up out of there. He said, hell no. He's like, you ain't my sister. You didn't turn into a furry 8-foot killing machine. He said, I'm gone. Kazim took off like Shaggy and Scooby. He said, I wasn't. He had time. Kazim, I called, feeling my breath choking me as I shouted again and again. There was no answer. My voice chilled to the dust in the frosty night air as the fear violently pulsed within my chest. Where was he? There was only the wolves and the bodies. My terrified gaze locked into the ravaged bodies of the soldiers, a small dark form lying beside them. Kazim, I screamed my brother's name, rushing over as I collapsed down beside him, but I could see it was already too late. Blood stained the front of his clothes as his sightless eyes stared wide up at the moon. As if in cursed trance, I turned my head, heart pounding dully, and the sounds around me fading as I followed his gaze. Dang, she done went OD to the point where she done off to her brother. Damn. That's crazy. She went into such a frantic rage. Wow. The clouds rushed in waves away from the center of the night sky as I saw her face. The brightness now turned to a dulled, deathly gray as a mocking voice echoed in my mind. Not fast enough. Wow. That was interesting. Return to Warsaw. Luna's mocking voice echoed in the cloying darkness of my room as the vision of the past faded away. During the day, these memories were kept far at bay, but once the light fell, they eagerly crowded at the edges of my mind, ceaselessly repeating their shifting, strident melodies. Some nights Luna was helpful and kind, others, like tonight, she was mocking and cruel. Sometimes she said nothing at all. I preferred Luna in one way. Mocking, kind, or indifferent. She need to be nice. Did she not realize we are capable of turning into an 8-foot beast? She don't want these problems. Better be nice. Talk to me nice. Or pay the price. That's how it goes. Her kindness felt soft and warm, keeping me safe, sane for a brief moment. But all harder to return to reality in the morning. Yeah, see, that's more like it. Several long months had passed since that night, since Kazim, since that had happened. My aunt Khadija, a guru from my sept in Afghanistan who had moved to Warsaw years before, had taken me in, even getting me a part-time job at her girlfriend's bar, Apocalypse, a secret meeting place and hangout spot for the local guru. I enjoyed the work. I was grateful for the job. It was not what I had dreamed of doing. It was better than nothing. You get some money. I was grateful for the job. I knew many of the other refugees had struggled to find work, and I was happy to have a way to pay back for Khadijah for allowing me to stay with her. And yet, small, cynical part of me wondered why even bother pursuing my university degree in the first place. Studying medicine. I had completed my degree in medicine at the Medical University of Warsaw. I had hoped to return to Afghanistan to become a doctor there, but those hopes had been dashed. Upon my return this autumn, I had eventually tried to fit back into the city to be less of a burden to Khadijah. Oh, that's kind of impossible. I had met up with the other Garu. I had met with the other Garu trying to get involved in the affairs of the Sept, but it had felt harder and harder to care about protecting the humans. Eventually, I had given up. What was the point in going outside when everything turned dark and gray, and memories floated through every stranger's face? I had heard Khadijah's whispering of Harano to Victoria, her girlfriend, the Garu despair. I had fought against it, but I had felt it grasping at my heart every day with a new intensity, and I worried it would soon consume me. So it's a little too late for that. I shoved the thought of Khadijah down as I turned on my side, thin black curtains drawn across the window. The moon was just beyond, her voice a beckoning call. I answered her call. Something moved within me as, for the first time in a long while, I stepped to the window and there opened the blinds to answer the call. Staring out over the Warsaw cityscape, a solid, jagged line of buildings stood dim and gloomy, with Luna shining high above it all. Her form tonight was the same as the night of my first change into a werewolf. This form had also determined my role in the pack, my auspice. Alright, choose an auspice. We got Ragabash, The Urge, Philodox, Gilliard, Our Room. I don't know. We ain't got a whole lot of time, so we're gonna choose one. Let's go with this Philodox. I uphold the litany, the laws of the Garu, and mediate conflict. Luna's form soon became obscured as the memory started to play once more. The voice of the moon, intoning monotonously. As I fell back into bed, the void of the ceiling had transformed to a vision of the past as I lay there, trapped, waiting, and willing for dawn. Dawn's morning rays filtered in the room as I finally got up. I headed down to the kitchen, led by the aromatic smells of breakfast wafting through the hallway. Which meant Khadijah was already up, which meant conversation. I debated finding some means of escape. She ain't trying to talk. Let's see. Might as well get it over with. The hunger gnawed me. I'll sneak through the kitchen. And look, you can't ignore no good food, so we gonna have to eat. The tantalizing smell of the breakfast Khadijah had cooked wafted through the hallway. My stomach rumbled as I resignedly headed in. Thank you. Get you some food. Quit playing. Khadijah sat cross-legged in an embroidered cushion on the floor, watching the news as they interviewed Helena Zelenska, a Sedge politician popular for her aid to the Ukrainian refugees. I ain't trying to hear all of that. We don't care for politics. Tuning it out. I tuned it out. I did not feel like listening to the news today. Me neither. Khadijah quickly flicked off the TV as she noticed me entering, turning to face me. Her thick black hair was pulled loosely back into a high bun that accentuated her sweetheart face. Despite being from Afghanistan, a country of majority Muslims where women were expected to cover their hair, we had grown up obeying only the litany, a fact we had concealed whenever we left our sept. Although usually careful when I left our sept village to follow traditions, I had accidentally been caught once on my own by a stray traveler while exploring the Hindu Kush mountains. Ran away, I had hidden, I had confronted him. Yeah, might be running up on me. Let's see what this traveler's, what do you want? You know our motto, run up, you get done up. I had confronted him. He had been shocked, his eyes bulging at my audacity. And then they had bulged in fear as he ran away, sprinting the opposite direction as I revealed my true nature. Yeah, that's right, get your ass up out of here. A maroon tablecloth woven with delicate geometric patterns was spread in front of Khadijah, upon which rested breakfast dishes of rot, eggs fried with vegetables, paneer cheese, sambosa, and my favorite, sheer chai tea. Damn, that sounds good. Fix me a plate. We owned a table, but we both spent too many years eating this way to change it for Warsaw's customs. Breakfast? Hell yeah. You gotta ask. Sure, I said, unenthusiastically. I could hear her let out a suppressed sigh as I turned to wash my hands before joining her for the meal. I used my right hand to scoop up the eggs with the rot and forced a mouthful. Bland. Everything tasted so bland these days. I could sense Khadijah was worried, but she kept silent as we finished eating and washed up. After the meal, Khadijah turned to me, fishing a small package out of her purse. I need to deliver this to Ilona. Can you take it? Yeah, we'll take it. No problem. I felt bad for my lackluster response earlier and tried to muster up some enthusiasm. She flashed a surprised smile as she handed it to me, kissing me on the forehead. Thank you, Azizam. I've got to head to work, but I'll see you later. She grabbed her things, heading out the door as I sighed. I had planned to spend the day inside, but oh well. I sighed heavily, wishing that I had denied her request. Looking down at the package in my hand, I examined it closely, wondering what Khadijah would need delivered personally to the head of our sept, the group of werewolf packs that resided in Warsaw. Let's see. Let's be nosy. I sniffed it, immediately drawing back as a whiff of blood filled my nostrils. What the hell has Khadijah been up to? I half-heartedly got ready to go, finally leaving the apartment and locking the heavy door behind me with our old-fashioned bronze key. Taking the creaky 100-plus-year-old lift down to the ground floor, I stepped out of the frosty Warsaw streets, my breath billowing in the air as I exhaled. I want to know what's in that package. Man, got me interested now. My university friends had expected I would have a hard time in the winter. But to my surprise, I had found the temperatures similar to my home deep in the North Afghanistan mountains. I shivered as the cold breeze sliced at my face. Even if I was used to it, it didn't mean I enjoyed it. I know how you feel. I picked up the pace, heading quickly towards the cairn, the spiritual center of the Garu Sept, and where Ilona, our leader, could be found. I walked briskly through Warsaw, heading away from the main streets. When I first moved to Warsaw, the city had overwhelmed me. The enormous crowded skyscrapers, the rushing people, and the streets filled with the toxic fumes from cars, trucks, and buses, so very different from the quiet mountains and tiny villages of my homeland. I missed it. The star-swept skies above, sleeping outdoors in the mountains curled up in my lupus form, the freedom of silence. I brushed my thoughts away as I came upon an abandoned tunnel of gray concrete, a remnant from a long ago construction site that had become overgrown with moss and weeds. Graffiti lined the walls with such intimidating slogans as "Ho, Ho." Who they calling a hoe? So disrespectful. As I idly read them, the spray paintings up ahead seemed to blur together into a crowded mess of artwork. The harsh swirls and blunt lines of black and white seemingly to sway upon the walls. I mean, that is some nice graffiti though, but ain't gotta call nobody no hoe though. Oh, I was not expecting that. Horror filled my mind as the graffitied paint began to painstakingly peel itself onto the wall, twisting and twitching spasmodically until it had formed a massive centipede-esque creature of tangled serpentine lines. It sniffed the air as the semblance of a head slanted towards my location with a jolting speed. The crumbling spider-like monstrosity began crawling robotically towards me, a feeler of dripping paint reaching out. What the hell? That was crazy. I warily backed up, but as it approached, I saw the paint begin to drip off of the centipede until only a puddle of putrid gray rested at my feet. My mind raced over what I had seen. That's crazy. Combat the worm wherever it dwells and whenever it thrives, for that has surely been a lesser spirit of the worm. I felt disappointed at the beginning, denied a fight, for the spirit had long gone. Perhaps Ilona would have the answers. And she better have something, because what the hell's going on? The Cairn of Warsaw. Undercurrents of spiritual energy filled the air, swirling mistily around me as I stepped onto the road across from the old Gasworks Coliseum, a cairn home to the Sept of Warsaw. The Gasworks Coliseum was a mottled blood rust red and gray brick structure that, despite its dilapidation, towered with a fierce pride against the grim overcast skies, a place where the separation began, the physical and the spiritual worlds was at its thinnest. While the Warsaw Sept had claimed a part of their city as their own, my cairn in Afghanistan resided within a natural rock cave set high and deep in the Hindu Kush mountains, with delicate veins of emeralds lining the walls of the circular chamber. And yet they both exuded the same power of the wild, of nature, of the earth that connected us all. I crossed the empty road, approaching the wall as the pulses of the spiritual energy grew stronger. A fierceness to match the cairns rose within me as I eagerly stepped forward into the flowing wave of rage. Though long since abandoned, the Gasworks Coliseum still lay within the city's bounds as the decades passed, the security had increased in the form of cameras and security guards, forcing the Sept to devise ways to protect it from wandering eyes. Our cairn's leader, Ilona, had spread the borders of the cairn with her own blood in an act of territorial dominance, protecting and guarding the land from outsiders. Leaders past had once utilized their own urine. Ew, the hell? But after a few too many brisk north winds, the previous cairn leader had suggested switching to blood, a suggestion unanimously accepted by the rest of the Sept. The most important defense through was the cairn itself, a living ward which had held a powerful guardian spirit that fiercely protected its home. Or so they said. I had certainly never felt nor seen evidence of this so-called spirit guardian, and I secretly wondered if some of the older Garou had perhaps taken a few too many hits to the head. As I approached, a thick wall of gray concrete topped with barbed wire came into view, another reason I had avoided coming here after my return to Warsaw. Although I kept regard fixed well away from the barbed wire, I felt lighter than I had in days as I recklessly vaulted over the fence. The wind rushed through my hair and filled my lungs, the adrenaline pumping as I landed adroitly on the scraggly grass covered ground. Hey kid, you're not allowed in here. Shit. I heard someone yell from the far end of the fence as Alona's imposing form appeared suddenly in front of me. Oh snap, why Alona look like Kamala Harris? I'll take care of this. She disappeared. I waited anxiously, thinking about Alona and what Khadija had told me about her when I had first arrived. Her identity as a trans woman, her family, her ascension to the SEP leadership. What? She's a trans woman? Wow. That's crazy. I wasn't expecting that. Khadija said many were surprised when Ilona had become a SEP leader. Although a fierce and dedicated fighter, she was a woman of few words, and many saw her as easily intimidated, a mistake they did not make more than once. The minutes tickled by. I scanned the fencing where Ilona had gone, but she did not reappear. My gaze wandered over the abandoned lot surrounding the cairn, a desolate stretching of and straggling wild grasses and patches of parched dirt covered intermittently with piles of decaying snow. The overcast skies had parted as the sun steamed forth upon the grim cairn, highlighting the rust red of the outer walls and accentuating the darkness within. As the gleaming rays shone down, they touched upon an object out of place amidst the dusky snow. Let's go with silver pendant. A silver pendant. What the hell was this doing here? I picked it up and examined it. Silver only harmed us in our werewolf forms, but it was still unusual to see it within our domain. I pocketed it. Better safe than sorry. Ilona finally reappeared, wiping something off her hands. Oh my god, did she kill him? She caught my gaze as her dark eyebrows furrowed menacingly. What happened? I asked worriedly. Iona tilted her head at me, frowning disapprovingly. Thankfully, it was just a pedestrian, so I told him I was a security guard here, but it had been an actual guard, we would have been in trouble. Her dark green eyes narrowed, which is why we used the entrance we created to ensure no one is within the vicinity. I'm sorry. While an apology was clearly not enough to fix the mess I'd created, her intense, threatening aura seemed, just as the tiny degree lessened, inclined to violence. The heart of Sep. Ilona turned around briskly, striding into the Colosseum without seeing if I was following as I jogged to catch up. Stepping through the dim, spreading shadow that emanated from the towering building, I followed Ilona into the old Colosseum. The broken panes of glass from the numerous windows embedded in the Colosseum walls allowed sunlight to seep in from all sides, lazily painting glowing diamonds upon the packed soil. A thin, rusting gray staircase encircled the inner wall of the cairn, rising up to a balcony that would fill with the rest of the sept during the moot, but now stood empty. Spread out across the ground floor of the cairn, I could see all forms of various Garu from different tribes, an aura of menacing surrounding them, even in their human form. All my awkward rave received, however, were expressions ranging from contempt to disdain as I quickly lowered my hand. I knew my Hirana state was not seen in a positive light, but this seems more antagonistic than usual. Maybe it was for the best. I did not wish to speak with them anyways, or perhaps it was better to be alone. As I observed which Garu were present that day, I noticed members of my own tribe amongst them. Very, very interesting. So I want to keep this going, ladies and gents, but unfortunately I gotta wrap it up, because as I mentioned, this is just the trial. It's only about an hour that I get to showcase this gameplay. Once the hour is up, it shuts right off. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting one right here. Actually digging the vibe of this one. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one. As lights come on in the theater, quietly make your way out so everybody can clean up and do their thing. And clean up, I mean my ushers that come through every night that we have movie video game night, and clear everything out to get everybody ready for the next feature presentation. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one. For anybody that came in late, feel free to catch the replay. Again, make sure you guys check out my next Battle of the Beats episode 43 on my debate table podcast. The link is pinned at the top of the chat, but I'll drop it again if you guys need it. Click that link, share it out, spread the word, set your notifications, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. It's going down. Appreciate all the continuous love and support. Big shout out to each and every one of y'all. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, hit that notification bell. Anytime I go live, come through, kick your feet up, relax. My home is your home. You already know what it is. And remember the 4 beautiful things that make this world go round: peace, love, positivity, and prosperity always. So till next time, it's your boy signing off. Much love, peace, and I'm gone.